Good afternoon. This is 158.3 again with another video. Follow me on Twitter 158p1. So this video is about the Premier League again, and again the Premier League this season is nuts. It really is. Since I last recorded my last Premier League video, a lot has changed in the landscape of the Premier League. When I made that video a month ago, Everton was top of the league and undefeated. Well, they lost 3 straight. Now they're in 7th place. We've had change of leadership over the past few weeks. Liverpool took the top spot 1 week. Then they drew. Leicester won 3 in a row. Now they're top of the league. Southampton have won 4 of their last 5 actually, and are 4th in the league. And they started out pretty much bottom, and they were in the bottom 10 when I last checked. And it's just been crazy. I mean, and Leicester really beggars belief, because when I last made the video, since they went on this run, they lost probably their best defender, and that was Çağlar Söyüncü. Çağlar Söyüncü is an impressive young Turkish talent that I've had my eye on since he came to Leicester. He's a great tackler. He intercepts the ball. He's great in the air, and he has no real weaknesses. He's getting constant comparisons to Carlos Puyol, and that's beyond the long flowing hair. But he's getting constant comparisons to Carlos Puyol, the Barcelona legend, who is just one of the greatest defenders of all time. He's won every achievement under the sun. And he has the potential. He's been linked with Barcelona. But what happened since October 18th was he has an abductor injury, and he's going to be out until at least January. But even through that, Leicester have found a way to find momentum and get to the top of the league again, which is pretty impressive. Now, what blows my mind is they bought Söyüncü after they sold Harry Maguire for $95 million US dollars. And the funny thing about Harry Maguire was Transfer Market has ranked him, or said he was worth maybe about $70 million US dollars, and Manchester United overpaid yet again. And he's been struggling this year. But Leicester has just bought these players at a value. They've used the money from the Harry Maguire transfer and strengthened their club, even stronger than they were when they won the Premier League in 2016. And I think that should not go unnoticed. They've bought a lot of young players like James Maddison. They bought James Maddison at $23 million. Now he's worth $55, and he starts for England week in and week out. They have this James Justin kid who really impresses me. He's only 20 years old. James Justin is a right back. They bought Ricardo Pereira to be their starting right back. And James Justin is 22 years old, and he's started week in and week out and has done a great job for Leicester. He's been their low-key MVP, in my opinion. And that's just amazing, because a lot of people didn't even know he played for Luton Town 2 years ago as a youngster. Luton Town, last I checked, they might be League 1 or League 2. They're like 3rd or 4th tier. And Leicester found him, discovered him, picked him up for a very cheap price, and he's starting week in and week out for them. On the other hand, you have Manchester United, who buys Harry Maguire for $90 million. And although lately he's been better lately. The start of the season, he was an absolute disaster. He was a mess. Last season, he wasn't that great. But he's been ranked very highly according to WhoScored.com. So he's not as bad as the film suggests. It's just frustrating that he can't really tackle or do anything. But he really impressed me in the Iceland game. He's a good passer on the ball. And he's really come to form. The Manchester United Everton game was kind of his comeback story because he's just been a mess. He's been terrible ever since coming back from the break, ever since the incident in Greece and that whole weird relationship he has with his sister. But, he's really come on. And, but, again, Manchester United needs to take from the Leicester playbook because they keep overpaying these players and buying these players at a steep price. And now they have to be cheap because they can't get out of these contracts. They can't afford a player that would help them, Jadon Sancho. Actually, I would argue that Mason Greenwood is fine enough for them, long-term wise. And I don't understand why they want to overpay for Jadon Sancho, but then they didn't want to. I don't know. So they signed Edinson Cavani instead and overpaid for him. So they keep overpaying for these players, and it's hurting them, and they're not doing well. So that's another thing. They need to learn from the Leicester playbook. They need to learn from the Southampton playbook. They're a mess. They're a disaster. And, that's going to be a problem for them long term. They're not going to be out of the woods unless they get serious about getting a director of football that knows what they're doing. Getting in a coach that is a little more assertive and has a plan and has a proper modern tactics. They definitely need some help. But Leicester, on the other hand, it's marvelous what they're doing. And once Soyuncu comes back, it's going to be hard to bet against them. I know this season's been crazy. I mean, you've seen Everton dominate the league for the first month and then fall apart. Southampton was tipped to be relegated after the first month. Now they're top 5, and they just look like the quintessential modern football club, and they just look really good on the ball and defensively. And they could surprise a lot of people. They could make the Europa League, I think. And then who knows with Manchester City? They might come around. They got Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus, whatever his name is. I know it's Portuguese, so I got to pronounce the J like a normal J. Aguero, Silva, Ricardinho, those guys might come on. Ruben Dias, that's a guy I look to, and he might be a good player. There's so much to look forward to with this season. They might come on. Tottenham's been coming on. They look really good offensively. Surprising for a Jose Mourinho team. Crystal Palace looks like a nice, consistent team for the first time that I've seen them since 14-15 when they were top 10. And they looked really good doing it. Aston Villa looks like a team, but I don't know if they'll stay in the picture. I mean, if Arsenal maintains consistency, I like them. I really like them on paper. Thomas Partey is a game-changing signing for them. I really like that signing they made. Finally, a defensive midfielder that is truly a game-changer for them. But the big teams, I don't see. It's hard to see. And Liverpool's still looking amazing without Virgil, with all their injuries. I mean, they're not unbeatable, but they're still in the running. It's still kind of a topsy-turvy season, and it's going to be exciting, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it, even if Everton continues to go on the slide they're going on as an Everton fan. I really am enjoying this season, fans or not. And if it continues this way, I would be glad to see a top 4 where Leicester wins the league again. Tottenham, Liverpool, and Southampton. I would rather see Everton get in the top 4 instead of Liverpool, but still, I kind of respect them as a team. So, continue to watch the Premier League. It's going to be exciting to watch week in and week out, despite the fans not being there. And this is why we watch, because there's a lot of teams that have a chance this year. It's exciting. It's different. I love it. And those are my thoughts on the season so far. I mean, players are making a turnaround. Teams that were struggling mightily are making the turnaround. And let's see if Manchester City and Arsenal can make it consistent about it. And Chelsea looks good too. They've been in decent form. They won 3 of their last 5. They're 5th now. And I didn't see that because who knew that Kai Havertz and Timo Werner were going to be awesome. I mean, Kai Havertz is off COVID now. He no longer has COVID. He tested negative. He's practicing with the team. So that's a big German winger that is going to be scary to watch, because he's like 6'3" and he's like 180 pounds. He's muscular, and he's only 19 years old. Even Chelsea are going to be fun to watch. This is exciting. I really am going to continue to enjoy this Premier League season. So that's it for the video. That's my take on the Premier League so far. I will give you another update video after probably this weekend, hopefully. That's what I want to do. If not, I mean, I'm still not 100% back. My energy level has been down today compared to previous days. Headache came back, but I'm managing it, and I'm still going to make some videos. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, comment for more Premier League content and more Premier League takes. Follow me on Twitter at 158p1. Follow me on Instagram at 78thomasbahamas, and I have a Facebook page. It's 158.3. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy your Thanksgiving.